Trevor Weisgerber of the Moose Jaw AAA Warriors, head coach, general manager, here to chat with us ahead of Game 2 tonight, of course, following a Game 1 overtime loss to Regina. But first of all, Trevor, appreciate you taking the time to do this on a game day.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So obviously a tough way to start the series here, but what did you like about your group's effort despite that overtime loss this past weekend?
Yeah, obviously it was tough losing that game, being up, I guess 1-0 most of it, and then we score early in the second or early in the third to go up 2-0, and yeah, it's just obviously not ideal that we end up losing that game in overtime. But I thought for the most part we played pretty well defensively. I thought we could have done a little better job just possessing the puck and winning some puck battles, things like that. But for the most part, we were fairly happy, and obviously those 2 goals late in the third weren't ideal. And then how we lost in overtime obviously was just we missed a couple assignments, and that's what happens when you're playing good hockey teams.
You know, Trevor, it's easy to overreact after a Game 1 loss like that, especially in overtime. It's emotional. But what adjustments, if any, are you looking at as you head into tonight's game?
Well, I thought, like I said, I thought we played well defensively. So I'm going to keep doing that. And as far as the other part, I mean, we have to obviously, as a group, we got to do a better job winning puck battles and putting pucks in spots where we're going to be able to get them back and create more offense that way. And I mean, we only had 1 power play, but I thought we did a pretty good job of moving pucks, and we had some opportunities to score some goals on it, so that was good. And then on the other side of things, I thought our PK did a real good job. We made some adjustments prior to the start of the series, but they did a heck of a job on the kills that we had. But again, we just got to find more ways to create some offense against these guys. And I mean, we had video yesterday and had a light skate today that we worked on a few things, and hopefully we can be on the right side of it here tonight.
At risk of garnering the Willie Desjardins response, which I'll tell you about after, when you look at regrouping, is it easier to regroup after maybe a 4 or 5 goal loss than an overtime loss at this time of year, or does it matter?
You know, yeah, I think it is. I mean, it is, especially for the coaches, that's for sure. I don't know, the players, I think they're just ready to play, right? So we had talked about that in the Blazers game there in Game 4 when we got spanked up in Saskatoon. And I mean, there's not really much you can watch as far as video or show or anything like that. You just come back and play the way you've played all season, and hopefully it works out, right? So I mean, there was obviously some video and some things that we need to clean up in that game in Game 1, and yeah, it's always tough, especially giving up a 2-goal lead in the third, and then to lose that in overtime. It's never easy to swallow, and I mean, it's just one game, and we just have to make sure we're ready to rebound here tonight.
Willie Desjardins' response, by the way, was win by 2 goals. So you can take that for what it is. But having said that, at this time of year, is this the most fun time to coach? Because you've done your due diligence, you've had your process in place since day number 1. Now it's tweaks and adjustments and counter adjustments. Would that be accurate? Yeah,
it is. You know what? You go through all season, and we always talk about it after Christmas. Like you've done everything up until Christmas, and then after Christmas, it's you're just doing tweaks, and you've worked on a lot of the stuff prior to Christmas. And I mean, there's always stuff you're working on and things like that. But especially once you come to the playoffs here, you let the guys go. And I mean, like you said, you're doing minor adjustments here and there and things like that. But it's more just trying to get the guys focused and ready to go and make sure they're ready to play and everyone's on board, and that you're having group efforts, because at the end of the day, you need your secondary scoring. You need your guys that are your meat and potatoes, so to say, guys to really step up, and a lot of times those guys end up being your heroes, or the guys that are scoring big goals or blocking shots at the end of the games, right? So you're just trying to get everyone to make sure everyone's ready and focused, and yeah, I mean, you can't beat this time of the year, especially where we're at right now, and it's always fun.
The Regina Pat Canadians, again, can have various rosters, and their team can look very different night to night with their two sensations, if you will, right? 15-year-old Liam Pugh and Maddox Schultz, who are in and out of the lineup. How much or how can you prepare your team for the unknown when it comes to what the Regina roster might look like on a nightly basis?
Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, we're just ready to play whoever's in the lineup or not. Obviously, like I said, I thought we did a pretty good job the other night on Maddox there, and anytime he's in the lineup, he's gonna have his opportunities. He's gonna have his chances to score goals and make plays, right? So I mean, as much as you can limit it, that's what you try to do, and you try to take away time and space as much as possible with him. And obviously he's a difference maker, and again, you just try to do what you can to keep him limited. And I think when he isn't in the lineup, I mean, they still have a good hockey team, right? So it's we just kind of go about our business, worry about what we need to do, and like I said, hopefully we can come out on the right side.
Trevor Weisgerber, how do you keep 15, 16, 17, I guess in some cases 18-year-olds focused on the here and now? Again, I look at my own kids personally, and like they're jacked the fact that the ice cream stand is open over on Victoria. You've got 13 players that have got Western Hockey League affiliations. You already know that you're going to be in the Western Regional TELUS Cup tournament. How do you keep them focused on the here and now?
Well, when we get off here, if you have any ideas, just I'll stay on it. No, you know what, it's a battle all the time. You try to do different things. You try to keep them upbeat, and there's lots of different ways and things that we try to do, and especially pregame and like in morning skates, and especially before when we're doing lineups and stuff, you try to change it up just to get them fired up and things like that. So it's you have 20 different mentalities and ways that guys do things differently, and that's the biggest thing. And it's like just trying to reiterate to these guys how special it is at where they're at, and it isn't tough winning, and let alone winning a championship. And it's something that's pretty special that maybe all of them will maybe never have a chance to play for again, and they just have to understand that it is a special thing, and that you don't want to look back, and that you leave everything out in the ice and you do everything possible, whether it's a puck battle or whether you're blocking a shot or doing anything when it comes to winning hockey games, what you need to do, that these guys understand how important it actually is.
Who's leading the charge in that locker room when it comes to leadership, aside from the coaching staff? Who is really stepping up and making sure that everyone's marching in the right direction?
You know what? Obviously Gibbsy's been a big, our captain this year. He's done a heck of a job, and I think there's some 17-year-olds as well, and just our leadership group as a whole. But I just think as a group, we have such a good group in there that they understand what on an everyday basis kind of thing, what's going on and how important stuff is. But they get along so well, and I think just as a group they do a real good job. I mean, there's not too often that we have to get on these guys about certain things or stuff like that they're for the most part ready to go and stuff like that. But I would say like Gibbsy does a real good job as far as that, and just like I said, I think the group as a whole does a real good job.
How do you teach resiliency? Because Game 5 in that last round wasn't for the faint of heart against the Saskatoon Blazers. Your team, like you said, Game 4, it's just always been, it seems on paper that your team just always finds ways to show up. How do you teach that, or where does that come from?
I talk about just last year, just what we went through and how many guys we have back. And I think just that experience alone has helped our group. And some of the guys that we brought in, I think are real mature for their age. And I think that's a big part of it. And it's, you just want to, I think from day one, you talk about like your culture and doing things the right way, playing the game the right way. And you just want to incorporate those things every day with these guys. And I just think that, Game 5, it can go any way. And I mean, we're down obviously late and we score 2 late goals and then score in overtime. And I just think that just throughout the year, just going through the process and trying to reiterate doing those things, doing the little things all the time, that they just play the game. And they did a heck of a job, obviously, and we came out on top, which was nice.
Am I allowed to ask like the worst question ever?
If you're prefacing it that way, I don't know if you should.
Well, it really discourages me when. So again, we've talked about it. The Moose Jaw Warriors AAA team have already qualified for the Western Regionals. And the question that I'm sure you've had about a half dozen times, if not more, Trevor Weisgerber, is that how important is it to go through the front door? Well, to me, you've already earned your spot. You've earned that through your hard work. Now is an opportunity just to take another step. Having said all of that, how important is it to go through the front door?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means everything. It's, for our group especially, especially for being there last year, losing to these guys. And it's just, like, we haven't even really talked about, I think it was brought up once, actually, in between periods in Game 5 against the Blazers. That was the first time it was ever brought up and hasn't been brought up since. And, I mean, our whole goal here is to win this and do it the right way. And we want nothing more than to win this league and win a championship here for Moose Jaw and this organization and the group. So
you talked about that experience from last year. Then has that left a chip on the shoulder of this entire organization? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, obviously last year we ended up getting swept, and they're all 1-goal games, good hockey games, and I just think it leaves a taste in your mouth. And I know for the guys that they do really want this, and I just feel that it's when that happens that you definitely want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward here and you're doing everything you can to make sure that you're winning hockey games, especially late in the season like this, and to have the opportunity to win a championship. It's just there's nothing better.
At the old crushed can, thanks to the way that let's just say the one wall started to work. On a cool, breezy day, you could have the wind at your back in the first and third periods if you played your cards right. What's home ice advantage mean to you, not having the crushed can confines?
Yeah, I think it's good, right? Being 40 minutes down the road, I mean, you don't have a ton of advantage as far as someone coming in on bus legs or anything like that. But anytime you can play in front of your own fans, you get to get dressed in your own room. If you're having a nap in the afternoon, things like that. I mean, it just makes life easier. And I think we've played well at home all year here. So we're excited to play tonight and obviously be in front of our home crowd. I'm assuming we'll have a real good crowd here, and everyone here in Moose Jaw is behind us, so we're looking forward to it. And I think it's always good when you can play at home.
Game 2 set for tonight, Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. Of course, it's always going to be a fun battle when it's Moose Jaw and Regina. So all the best of luck tonight. Trevor Weisgerber, Moose Jaw AAA Warriors head coach and general manager, thanks so much for taking the time to do this.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Have a good day.